Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. A very good evening to one and all joined here for this webinar series. And this is the program that is in IEEE Malabar subsection in collaboration with Antin and IEEE Malabar Hub. And we are conducting this webinar series, and this is our third program. And the topic is on creative women of COVID times. And it's a great pleasure for me to introduce the two eminent personalities, those who joined here with us for this third day of our webinar series. I will be starting with Dr. Anu Marie Chacko. Uh, Currently, Madam working as an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering of the National Institute of Technology, Calicut. Prior to joining this NITC, she was working in Tata Consultancy Service for 5 years. She has received her PhD for the thesis entitled Automatic Provenance for Big Data Applications from NIT Calicut. She has authored 2 journal papers, 1 book chapter, and more than 20 international conference papers. Her research interests are big data analytics and security. She has given invited talks in a short-term course in GEC Trichy and FTP in NIT Calicut. She has chaired a session in IEEE Spices 2015 and has been a part of the organizing team for ISB 2010 and 2011. She's a member of ECM, IEEE and IEEE Computer Society. She co-chaired the Chin workshop in ECM ISDC in 2019 held at IIC Bangalore and is a chair for the Health Informatics track of ACM SAC 2019 and SAC 2020. She is an active member of ACM and IEEE. And now speaking about Miss Preeti, she is the Chief Executive Officer of the Technology Business Incubator of National Institute of Technology, Calicut. Being in an entrepreneurship development field for the past 19 years, she has guided many startups. Having started her career with the Entrepreneurship Development Cell of REC Calicut in 2001, she was part of the team prepared and presented the proposal for setting up of TBI in NIT Calicut in 2003. She served as the manager of the TBA NITC for 15 years before starting her current role of CEO. The TBA has extended incubation facility to 74 startup companies so far. The support has been extended to units in different sectors like software, IT, electronics, IoT, rubber technology, etc. The units incubated in the TBA generate employment opportunities for around 1,000 people. TBA can claim 70% success if the sustenance of the incubated unit is considered. Many of the incubated companies have attained remarkable growth. And for today's, that is, we are blessed with these two eminent personalities for today's talk. I welcome Madam for the session, and I'm welcoming all the participants for today's session. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, Anu, you may please start. Your mic is off.
Right. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Taslima, for the very kind introduction. So it is a pleasure for me to be here and to talk to you, something that is not at all technical. So what we are going to listen to, something that is quite personal, and it is a bit strange to talk on a webinar because we are more used to talking when all the people, we have our audience straight in front of us. We usually are very comfortable talking to their eyes. So today, I hope that what I'm going to share to you is a very quite personal learning that I had. So what I have titled is Lessons that I have learned during the Corona times or the COVID times. And let me start with a disclaimer, right? The opinions present in the presentation is completely based on my perception and my thoughts during this period of time. I hope that it will help at least some of you. And I would really love to hear what your thoughts during this period are. But as I have the privilege to speak first, let me just present my presentation. Okay. So in order to keep this session interactive, we've just thought of using a tool called menti.com. So I'll request all of you to open your browser and log into menti.com, www.menti.com. So please, if you're using a laptop, you can use your mobile phone and log into www.menti.com. There they will ask you for a code. Please enter 62746. So we will just, so I request if you're using you don't have two machines, so you can just use an alternate browser window. Any Chrome, you can open a browser and log into www.menti.com. And that will be the tool that we will be using throughout this presentation to have an interaction, to keep our session lively. So I request all participants to log into www.menti.com and give the code 62746. So the first question that and as an icebreaker for the session is to describe how you felt during this COVID-19 lockdown period. Maybe you can, I've given an option of one or two words. You can write the 2 words that will show what is your experience and just submit it. I request participants to please log into menti.com and use the code 62746. Right? www.menti.com. So we have our first response. It's saying big, boring, and interesting. So that's a very, very wonderful combination, boring and interesting at the same time. So we have people who are stressed and relaxed. Everybody had contradictory emotions. Great. Let's hear from more people. Okay, anxious, terrible, right? I hope more responses are coming in. Let's hear from, we have around 76 participants on board. Let's see how people are like, what were your feelings before I start speaking about what my feelings were and what I learned and what I have tried to practice. Okay, so the ones that are coming bigger are the common emotions. So I see that more people felt relaxed. That is good. It was a time of relaxation from the hurry-burry of running from one place to another. We were literally made to sit in our house for around a period of 3 weeks. And for some of us, it's still going on, though it's work from home. We are tied to home. So we have happy people, creatively developed, online class, safe, boring, escape from the busy world. Yeah, I do agree. Like first it was challenging. Like you are so used to be busy. Suddenly you are asked to be tied to a place. So I request the other participants also to log into menti.com because we have a fun quiz also coming in. So this is just an icebreaker and just for you to get into menti.com. So let me go into the next slide, right? So more workload, experimentation time. Yeah, I was seeing in the YouTube and all, people started developing chakukuru shake and a lot of nice innovative recipes. People started new vlogs and a lot of things happened. And everybody was trying for a good change, right? So for me, in the beginning, it was a little challenging. I'll say like when I heard about Corona. So apart from my professional part, I am a mother of 3 kids and my husband is a doctor. So when we heard about this Corona COVID season, I had my sense of anxiety. Then suddenly when the lockdown came in, we had a feeling that this will help to control this season. So suddenly, but then the drastic change that came was my support systems like my maid and all those people were not there. So initially, like, oh, this is an opportunity. But then later, the stress and anxiety started creeping in because the bad news were coming one after the another. And exactly like, it was a confusing time for me. One side, I'm trying to be creative. I'm trying to change the person I am, like, do different things, which I have not been able to do for quite a long time. But then I had the other things that I want to do and I'm not finding time for. So when I think of like, I spent some time in industry and now I am in the academia, I was thinking like whether it is different for both of it, right? So my focus is primarily on women because our talk is for women. So for us, I think like, initially lockdown, some of us didn't have to work during that time. Then it changed into work from home. So essentially we had no travel. So that saved a lot of time, energy, right? And then, but again, when you're working from home, I found it difficult to let my family know that I am working from home and I'm not actually doing, I just was not able to segregate things at first, especially because my support systems were not there. Then I think it was true for both women in the academia and the industry, where I think one of the major support system we have is the child support that we get in school or crashes, which was not there. So the children are there who wants to be entertained, then their demands for food. So working from home and working at home was getting mixed up. Then again, there's a lot of cost cuts that are coming from in the government and in the industry because of this sudden pandemic. So there is a lot of threat of unemployment. There are salary cuts that are going to come. So that shows that gives, like, both for academia and for industry, the future looks a little bleak now. For those who are in the academia, suddenly we actually had to stop in between a semester. For those people who are students yet, their semester was cut in the beginning and the end, in the middle, and now we have a requirement of going for a different style of learning, a different style of assessment, things which are not very familiar for us. So there is a new learning that has to happen. And most of it, I learned the inadequacy of our internet bandwidth solutions. Currently, I have three kids have online classes going, then that means that I don't have the net for my meeting. So just to sum up, whether you are in the academia or in the industry, you are a student or you are professional or you're married or you're single, whatever it is, this period has been an unprecedented times. It has brought in a lot of conflicts in our life because we don't know, we don't have a previous experience to think like how to handle it. Neither have our parents gone through such a season. We don't have an end date for such a season. Then as we are going through this, conflicting emotions are bringing a lot of struggles. And certainly I think this, like in the beginning of 2020, you might have a lot of travel plans, you had a lot of ambitions. But now what you have is there's a lot of uncertainty before it. And that is exactly where, as women, we have to bring our next self into it. So there is a time for us to feel all those things. This is our natural self. But now in the COVID season, as we are into a season, the inside our hearts, there is a creative woman. And it is time for the creative woman to step in and deal the situation face to face. So one thing I've realized in life is, like, whenever I face very adverse situations, very difficult situations, there is this time when I am suddenly stunned. I don't know what exactly to do. And then there is this time, then I have to start. There is no point where I get ready and then I continue, right? So there is, I have to, like, there is no position where you're trained for the situation and then you can start. So you just have to start. You just have to put that first leg of positivity and then start your journey and decide that I'm not going to be bound by my situation. I'm going to go beyond my situation. And that is when you start the move. So this is a mantra that I have, that I believe that, when your happiness is not something that is that you can wait for it to come. It's a feeling that will creep into. It is a choice that we have to make. When you don't have happiness in front of you, you'll have to pursue it. You have to have a conscious choice, and we have to search for it, and we can find it, we can choose it. So when you have this challenging time and there are a lot of things to do, one thing I was really thinking about is how I can be productive. So one of the major challenges that I had was I usually had a lot of, I had my college life prioritized, my work life prioritized. So ever since I joined my college, I started working. So I had a domestic help at my house, helping me with house activities. Then I have my structured life. There is a routine which is suddenly changing. So I have a 9 to 6 job at college, come back, then I have my family life, which I balance. So suddenly now I have to rearrange everything. So at that time, if I have to be productive, it cannot happen in such a messy situation. So during this time, one thing I really realized is I have to work to maximize my productivity. So as Paul J. Mayer says, productivity is never an accident. It is actually a commitment. It is a planned effort and consistent effort that will bring productivity in your life. So the time, so why do we have to be productive? Why can't we just keep lazing around? Because that is not possible. Your time is limited. This is an opportunity for you to jump into your next level. So this level we as women, as professionals or as students, this is an opportunity. This is a season that has been given in your life. This looks like an adversity, but you can convert it into your boom by maximizing what you can do in your season. So the major agenda of my talk today is some practical tips of how to do it, right? How to actually face the situation. So 4 thoughts that I had while I was thinking for what to talk today was, the first was how to maximize your productivity in your day. First is scheduling your day. Second, balancing your roles. Then making a conscious choice to tend yourself, and availing all supports that are available. So these things are all mixed up. So I just tried to put it as 4 different points, but these all go together. So let's start from scheduling your day. So suddenly your original schedule, actually what has happened with COVID is your life has been overturned. So whatever you were trying, you're planning, so many things has changed. For me, in April, I had a conference to attend. So I had a nice travel planned, and there was a vacation also planned along with that. That is gone. So there are a lot of plans, goals that I have set that has whole changed. Now it is a time for me to realign, think again, and know that the season has changed and create a new set of goals. So when you want to schedule your day, first thing you have to do is you want to know what is exactly what you want to achieve in life. So there is this professional part of you, there is this personal part of you. And you cannot, for me, I think it's a very difficult challenge. Like, though the picture is showing the person perfectly balancing it, to balance is a very difficult task. But if you're very purposeful in that, you can still strive in that. So one thing that helps me in doing that is setting up some goals. That is, this smart way of setting goals is something we all are very familiar. We hear it from classes to motivation conference, but I really think it is very helpful. That is, having some specific goals, right? So don't have goals like, during this period, I am going to improve my technical knowledge. So what is that technical knowledge you are going to? So when you do that, set your goals as something that is measurable, and know your limitations during this period. Know what all are the things, and set something that is attainable and strive to attain it. It's going to take an extra push that is attainable, and your goal should be relevant for this period of time. And I always believe in setting up short time goals. And when you are actually setting up your goals, one thing you have to remember is, while we are professionals and we have a personal life, there is a very, other than these 2 roles, these roles are further divided into many, many sub-roles in our life. So if you're thinking about your professional role, so I, as a faculty in NIT Calicut, I'm a faculty teaching a course. So I am a facilitator of a course. Second, I have a role as a faculty advisor. So I have some students whose emotional health and how they're learning, I have a responsibility towards them. Then again, I have some administrative responsibility. So there are different roles in the professional life. Or in my home, I again have different roles. Like I am a homemaker. I have to make sure my home is run well. Then I am a mother, I am a wife, and there are different roles. Like as we see in this picture, I wish we had so many hands like an octopus to handle all our roles effectively. So what I believe is like, though we cannot do justice, like, we cannot, I don't know how, I think time might teach me how to excel in every role. But now what I try to do is, I try to find out what are the roles that are most important for me at this period of time. And I set up the goals specific to that roles. So now that we are sitting at home or working from home, you cannot actually push your professional completely and say, I'm not going to look into my personal life. So if you're a student and you're at home, maybe your family expects you to put some help inside the home. There are things that you will have to do so that the situation around you is really happy. So you'll have to think like, how I will balance my roles, and now go back, set up, look for those specific roles and find out one thing you want to do, one goal you want to achieve in that specific role, right? And then once you have the goal set up, then you have an idea on how to schedule your time, right? So these are the things. So once you do that, that like, otherwise it's all mixed up. I know I have to take care of the children, I have to do this office work, I have to do the other thing, and there are 101 things. And you will not be able to declutter what is important, what is urgent, what is most relevant for me and to do, right? So while we are trying to maximize our productivity, while we are trying to do the best we have for all our roles, this is all possible only if the creative woman in us is keeping herself healthy and happy. So you have to choose, whatever be it, is it the most busy season of your life, you have to choose to tend yourself. You as a woman, you have to choose to take care of yourself while you take care of the other responsibilities that you have. So it is very important that we focus on our mental health and physical health. During this season, what has happened is like the media and the social media has all covered with a lot of negative news. This feeding yourself with a lot of negative news will actually bring your spirits a lot down. And I feel that, you lose your zeal to work. So what is important here is like, we choose our thoughts. We have to be careful in what we are feeding in. And we have to decide like, how we are, what we want to be, and focus on that. Along with physical health, mental health, another thing is physical health. I really believe like it really helped me to take 1 hour out of time to just to have a walk. Set a pedometer and say that you're going to do 10,000 steps a day. Divide it into many times because you might not find 1 hour time morning. So do it some in the morning, so some in the evenings. And when you do exercise, what happens is endorphins are produced and you are more healthy and happy to do the rest of your work. So you have to choose to relax, and this brings in the time for your creativity to further blossom, right? You have the time, like your thoughts to work, and you get more ideas when you are in a better health. So to take a break, I have been talking for quite some time. So I thought like, let's have a small game. So back to Menti.com. But this time what we are doing is we are going to do a quiz. So great. So this time people are ready. Please enter your names in the Mentimeters, in the space that is given. So I'm waiting for players. So we have 10 people who have logged in. Just let's give a couple of minutes for others to come in. So there are going to be 5 questions in this quiz. So once the questions are really simple. So you can answer, it's going to be multiple choice questions, only one correct answer. The highest point is given to the one who is fastest. So let's see, smart young ladies, let's see who is going to win. So request you to join Menti.com quick. So we have to start the quiz in another 2 minutes. So I have 15 participants in Menti.com. Right, now it's 16. We'll just take another 1 minute. We'll just wait for 1 more minute for people to join it. Log into Menti.com and enter the code 62746. Menti.com 62746. Right. So we'll just take another 15 seconds. So there is no 0 points for wrong answer, but the key is the fastest, right? So we have very nice, so I have 28 people on board. Let's wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Let's wait for 30 more seconds, right? So just to recap of what we were saying, like, what I was trying to speak today was how the corona season was for me as a person. So I was telling you, like, initially it was, I took it as a challenge. In between, I got really challenged. And then I thought I have to be purposeful. So I've been sharing with you the few tips that help me to make my life better or help it going on, right? So let's start the quiz. So we have 33 people on board and I am starting the quiz. So please look on your screens, answer fast to get points. And the first question is on your screen. Why is COVID-19 called COVID-19? Because it is made of 19 different molecules, or because it is the 19th coronavirus, or because it first appeared in the year 2019. So voting finishes in another 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. So let's see what's the answer that has come. So 27 people have said it right. It is because it is appeared first in the year 2019. So let's see who is the fastest today. So leaderboard shows that among our different participants, we have Danya Eslal leading, just behind her Ashwarya, followed Akina and Aparna. So we have 4 more questions. So get your hands on the mobile. The next question coming on your screen. The next question is, COVID-19 is not the first widespread coronavirus encountered by humans. But which of these is not a type of coronavirus? The options are MERS, the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome virus, severe acute respiratory syndrome SARS virus, or Ebola. The voting closes in 3, 2, and 1 second. Let's see what's the answer. So the right answer is Ebola. So we have MERS, SARS, and COVID are all type of COVID viruses itself, coronavirus. But Ebola is a different type which originated in Africa. Let's see, like, who is reading the leaderboard this time. So let's see, is there any difference? Yes, I think Danya didn't get the answer right at this time. So we are going to see quite some change in our leaderboard. So we have Paurnami leading, followed by Shruti K and Jasmine KM, Parvati and Shabira following behind. So let's see who is going to lead. So 2 questions over, another 3 coming. So the next question onto your screen. On which date did the government of India under Prime Minister Narendra Modi order a nationwide lockdown for 21 days? So do you remember that day when the life was changed? Was it March 23rd, March 24th, or March 25th? So the voting closes in 3, 2, 1 second. Let's see how people are doing. So the time is up. So the right answer is March 24th. And we have, so it was declared on March 23rd night, but it started from March 24th. So we have, let's see how the leaderboard is looking now. So we have, so again, we have drastic changes in our leaderboard. So we have Akash Raju, Solomon, and Sabik coming in the top. Okay, so don't worry, ladies, we have 2 more questions coming in. So let the fastest win. The next question on your screen, keep your hands ready to tap. When experts talk about flattening the curve, what does that mean? It is an axiom that means follow the evidence rather than trust appearances. It means to slow the spread of the virus to reduce the peak number of cases and related demands on hospitals and infrastructure. And I don't have time to read the third option, but I'm sure you have read it on your mobile. Right, excellent. So we have 17 people who really know what the flattening of the curve means, right? So it is basically not trying to, it's trying to control the spread so that we have sufficient hospital infrastructure. So what we have seen in Italy and other countries is that the disease just peaked and the hospital or the healthcare infrastructure was not sufficient to take care of it, and there were massive deaths. Thanks to our government's good measures, Kerala is still doing good. So we are coming to the leaderboard, and let's see who was the fastest this time. So this was quite some reading to do. So we have again some changes, and we have Akash Raju still leading, Surfina Shafiq and Shruti following, Jasmine and Sadiq in the 4th and 5th position. So the last question for the day is, which is correct to say? The yolk of the egg are white or the yolk of the egg is white? Which is correct to say? The yolk of the egg are white or the yolk of the egg is white? First statement or the second statement, or both the statements are right or none of the statements. So the voting closes in another 3, 2, 1 seconds. The time is up and everyone has voted. So this was a tricky question, and the question answer is the yolk of the egg is never white, it is only yellow. So just to catch those people who are very observant. So we have only three people managed to answer this question. The yolk of the egg is always yellow. Or after this webinar, I will recommend you to go and break an egg and check it out. So our leaderboard for today, and let's see who is the winner for the day. Right, so we have Parvati, Vinisha and Rajalakshmi who answered it right. So, right, but I think the overall points. So we have the winner as Akash Raju, congratulations. So in this webinar, let's give him a virtual clap. Okay, so I think it was lightening our moments. So say like, these are some fun activities, like, in between your mundane activities, take some time out and take a break, okay? So I think my time is almost getting over. So let me just quickly go through my last point, which is very crucial. That is availing of supports that are available. What is actually being said is when we say the word socially distanced, actually what is not, I think the more apt word for it is being physically distant. Keeping the physical distance. This is a time where the technology has grown so much that we can be socially close with people. And this is a time when we need to really get connected, because as human beings, we need each other's support. So take time to support others and take support from people. When you have a problem, be open about it. When you have a distress, you are finding it difficult to go on, be open about it. Talk about it. And take the support or therapy or any sort of help that you need, right, to go get back into shape. The truth is that we all go through difficult situations and we all have made it. So we have a lot of lessons within ourselves, which we can share. So it's very important for us ladies to work together. So this is a time for, again, like, using technology for our means, right? We have a lot of like what I was saying, socially connecting, Zoom. We can have some virtual meetings. I see a lot of friends getting together in Zoom, or you can find out like this is a time when I have touch base with all my old school friends, and it gives me a lot of joy and a relaxation to think about like those times and to touch base with them. And again, use this time, technology, to upgrade yourself, to get ready for the next season. That is again one thing that we can do during this season, right? So let me conclude my talk by reminding you one thing, like, this too shall pass, that this season will surely pass. God willing, it will pass very soon, right? So when you see things are bad, remember that it won't be there always. Whatever be the adversity in your life, whatever be the tough situations in your life, remember that this will also pass. And there is a new season that is awaiting for us. So let's, as women who are working professionals, students, let's get our creative selves out and make the maximum out of this season. Make the maximum during this time. Utilize our times to the best. Make the choice of being happy and make the choice of maximizing our productivity so that we are able to do those things that we are striving for. So thanks everyone for your patient hearing. So I think I'll hand over the session back to the moderator. Thank you very much.